Probably gonna be sideways again. Sorry about that. Not sure what's going on with Facebook. That's how it's working. Ooh, I look bad. This is what it looks like when you got your pajamas on and your fluffy hair and you're so excited to get started on the project. Look at these rags. This is where I'm already buffing off the brown wax. I took some pictures that I'll post this morning. And if you've been watching this project, this is the transfer. A lot of people don't wax over their transfer. I do a little bit because I want it to match in, but I still have some of the darker wax here, and I've already started buffing at the top. And I just wanted to come on real quick and show you. This is just a washcloth. You can buff with whatever you've got. I've got the bag of t-shirt rags, but I don't have them with me, so I'm using these washcloths, which I'll throw away. I don't want to put this in my dryer. But anyway, I want to leave a lot like in the corners and near the crevices. And I also put, after I painted, I put a top coat on here. I used the Junk Monkey banana peel matte so that this wouldn't stick so much in some of the areas, but you still don't have 100% control over that. It's sort of organic. It's going to do what it wants to do, and you can take off as much as you want or can take off. And you have to not, like right here, I'm pushing pretty hard. I could push harder, but what's going to happen, I think you can even tell that in the picture, in the video there, is this gets very light. Well, I don't want it to be a light streak here and a dark streak there, and so I try to keep like a medium pressure and just go in circles. And then when I get to an area that's darker than I want it to be, I'll scrub on it a little bit, and then I have to realize that's where some dark lines are going to be. That may be brush strokes, it probably is brush strokes, that came through from the, even past the top coat that was on here. But whenever, one other thing that I wanted to point out is you want your centers to be the lightest, because that way it looks like it's antiqued more around the edges and aged more, but the light is hitting it to highlight the center areas. It just makes the painted piece look better. So I'm going in a circular motion, but I'm going to go right here, you know, sort of remembering where my center was at. I'm going to do the lightest that I told you not to do up here. I'm going to do that here around the edges of this transfer all the way around, but I'm going to do it more here in the middle than any place else. And you can continue to do that. I hate when it shows like there's lines here that are horizontal. I tried when I was applying the wax. I applied the wax with this big old Paint Pixie wax brush. Isn't that nasty looking? But that's my brown brush. And I applied in a circular motion, but somehow or another it still takes a line right there. So that's the kind of things that you just can't allow yourself to look at while you're still working on the project, because you're going to see those flaws and you're going to want to not have them, and you're going to be disappointed that they're there, and it's going to make you not so happy with your piece. To where if you just do what needs to be done, highlight your centers, hit this as much as you can hit it, try to scrub it a little if it's got the vertical or horizontal lines in a different way than you want them, and then you just got to leave it alone. You have to leave it alone, because and come back to it, and you're likely to be, you know, your eye won't be as focused on it when you come back as it is now. But I'm way down here on one of these little stools. But if it just creeps you out and you feel like it ruins the whole piece after you've given it a day or two and you come back, what you would do would be get a clean wax brush and use clear wax, and you can apply that. You could apply it with a rag too if you wanted, if you don't have a brush. But and you can use it as an eraser. It will sort of reactivate the dark wax that's on there, lighten it up, lift some of it off, and then you can buff, and it almost works like an eraser to get some of that off. So this part hasn't been done. I think you can see that. You can see my swirls over there. Well, first thing I'm going to do is just kind of wipe it off. and get that part off. And then I'm going to come back and try to buff it in the areas where I want it to be lighter, which will be, this part isn't really, let's see, the rails go here. We have one of those tall mattresses, so our mattress is probably going to be about this tall, so this part will show, but then your pillows are going to be on top of that, so really it probably won't show too much. But another thing to really consider when you're using a dark wax like this is it's going to take you know, a minimum of 72 hours to cure. But then you're looking at a full month before all the paints and the waxes and all the things that you put on here are cured. So don't take your mama's antique lace pillow sham and put it up against this thing because you're excited to get your bedroom going. Go in there, put it up there, take a picture of it for you to look at, and then get your good stuff away from the wax for, you know, for a month or so that it can have time to cure, because you want this to last forever. The picture that you can take on, you know, on day one or whatever is going to make you proud of your room, but not ruining your mama's pillowcase and having a piece that's not going to scratch up. If this goes back through and scratches up and goes back to black because I rushed things, I'm going to be so mad at myself. So don't be mad at yourself. Don't be like me. Take your time. But I just wanted to come on. I don't know if anybody has any questions about waxing. The rag looks so clean up there. I'm telling y'all, it looks nasty down here. I need to hold it up there just to find me a place to wipe with. But just, okay, same thing. I'm probably going to want to go a little bit lighter in the same places underneath these panels. So I'm going to scrub harder, and I know you can't see that area. I'm scrubbing harder here, so that's making it lighter. I have to be careful with that scrub that it doesn't look ridiculous because I push too hard with one finger or something like that and end up with stripes. Can you see right here? Okay. But the harder I push, I'm hoping that that's going to come through there. The harder that I push, the more of the wax that's going to come off. And obviously I'm not going to get up close to the details because I want that darkness that looks like many years of dirt and grime and dust and old furniture polish and things have gathered up in there. That's the goal. But here in the center areas, just to hit it where the light would have hit it is the deal. Okay. So I'll post some pictures of this when it's done, and if you have any questions, just let me know. I hated this. I don't know if I've told y'all this before. I don't like black. Like well, I'll just tell you a story. How about that while I'm sitting here in my pajamas with my big old hair? I used to, and I didn't know this, only wear black. Or mostly wear black. 95% of the time I just wore black. And I did and I get no money for this, so I'm not telling you this story for any type of monetary gain or any other gain. I did the Dressing Your Truth thing with Carol Tuttle, and I read over it and I thought, well, I'm either, and it's free if somebody wants to go to dressingyourtruth.com. I thought, well, I'm either a 3 or a 4 because I'm a hard worker, I'm a real go-getter, I'm a, make things happen, get things done kind of person. So I'm definitely, I wish I was the type 2, which is the loving, caring, hug you to death kind of girl, but it ain't me. So I knew that wasn't me. And then the number 1 was the silly was the big word for it. The silly, laughs a lot, goes about things always laughing and wanting to have a good time. And I'm like, well, that ain't me. You know, I'm not into bright colors and all that. So I'm either a 3, which is the one who's straightforward and goes after things, or a 4, which is the perfectionist who wants things done just so. And I studied and read, and they had videos that were based on your face shape, even goes along with this, and I was in a little bit of denial that my face shape it's round. I mean, there ain't no denying that. That my face shape was a type 1. And then they showed what's in your purse. Lord have mercy, I have a type 1 purse. And there's probably a boiled egg in there. I could go on Let's Make a Deal, if any of y'all remember that show, and I would have paper clips and staplers and boiled eggs and, you know, peppermint patties. If it's, I have beef sticks and ostrich sticks and stevia and no telling what all's in there. But anyway, that's a type 1 purse, and I'm like, there is no way. And I had conditioned myself over the years to believe that this hardworking person who is very focused and always very goal-oriented, always very, by golly, this is the way things go and I've got to get them done, was me. And in a lot of ways it is me, but I also like to have a good time. I like to dance while I'm working, and I like to make things fun and make a game out of it. And I had forgotten that part of myself because I had conditioned myself to become who I thought a business person was supposed to be. And I was so shocked whenever I figured out that I was the top 1. I was in denial, then in shock. And when I went into my closet to look, I'm like, oh my goodness, everything in, like, you know, 85% of it was all black. And then I had a little bit of, you know, army green and a little bit of brown in there. And it was nothing like the light colored and bright colors that were supposed to be a type 1. So I emptied out my closet, including shoes, purses, belts, I have nothing black. The only thing I owned black in this whole house was this bedroom furniture, which I bought before that time. And it immediately made a change in how I felt and about, it was life-changing for me. How stupid does that sound? It immediately made a difference in how I saw myself and how I felt about myself, and feeling happy and feeling good and feeling like me. And they say in the program for that and in the book that if you have the right one on, you receive compliments within minutes of seeing people for your first time, you know, dressing your truth. And I did, and they have different words that they use for each type. Like for one, which is what I was, the word is cute. And I thought, you know, I'm a 50-year-old woman. Who in the heck wants to be called cute? Well, it is kind of fun to be called cute. But anyways, so I put on my first, you know, piece of jewelry that was the color they told me to wear, and my first shirt that was the color they told me to wear. And I was going to my granddaughter's dance recital practice, I think it was. And the first 2 or 3 people that I saw said, oh my gosh, you look so cute. It's like you got your sparkle back. And I'm like, are you joking me? That made me feel good. Because usually I'm gloom and doom focused on my work. And so I threw out all the black except for this, and I'm so glad that it's gone now. But and I've lived that way, wearing those colors and the styles and the things. It makes it so easy when you go to the store, because you don't have to look through everything, or trying to figure out what's best for you. You know your best colors, you know your best styles, you know your best patterns, and so it narrows down everything in the store to a select few things that immediately catch your eye, and then you can grab them, try them on, see which one you like best, and get the heck out of the store. And then, of course, there's secondaries and all that. This is not the Carol Tuttle Show, so I'm not going to talk about all that. But I do recommend it because it's free, and it was extremely beneficial for me. But I hope that helped. And let's see, can you see a little more of that? It's done. I am done with this thing. I don't know why these little dark areas like that reminds me of, and I erased it, reminds me of my Pawpaw Charney. We lived with him when I was a little girl, and I thought he was at least 100 years old. He was probably 80, but he stuff like that just reminds me of him. Our house had his old furniture in it, and I'm guessing that it all looked like that. there you go. Thanks for joining me this morning. I appreciate you. Bye.